In the last 24 hours, more information has come out in terms of documents out of the Franklin County Court in regards to the arrest of Michael McKee, the ex-husband of Monique Tepe, who is charged in the murder of both Monique and her husband, Dr. Spencer Tepe. We've got the document. We're going to get into it. Stick with me. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Well, hello there, my friend, and welcome back to another true crime conversation with me, your host, Gavin Fish. Thank you very much for being with me tonight. Thank you for joining me wherever you're joining me from. Don't forget, Romper Room style, we want to know where you are tuning in from. Tuning in as if this is 1986, where you're joining me from. And I just love that part. But if you're into true crime, you like to cut past fluff, sensationalism, you like to, temper your news of crime with humanity, with some compassion, this is where we do it here. At least that's the ideal. That's what we try to do. If that's your thing, then you found the right place, and I'm glad you have. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Delicious, delicious reverse osmosis water, because I live in an area of the world where, for some reason, the water that comes out of the tap just tastes awful. But anyway, guys, who are we talking about? We are talking about Spencer and Monique Tepe, the Columbus area Ohio couple. He a dentist, she a incredibly educated and purposeful stay-at-home mom for the couple's two children, whose lives were cut down violently at the hand, police say, of this man, Michael McKee, also Dr. McKee. This whole case is just so much. It's just so much to take. But if you guys remember, Dr. Tepe did not show up for work, and that was so out of character for him that his coworkers, his colleagues, full on called 911 saying, we can't get a hold of him, and we can't get a hold of his wife either, which is even more concerning. Please go and check on him. Meanwhile, all friends are like headed over there to the house to check on him, and sure enough, they are found deceased in their home. And there's a lot more to it than that, but that's basically how we got here. Now, police put out the Columbus police, man. The Columbus police did such a good job, I think, in utilizing traditional media, new media, social media, and getting a video out there. This is the video of their suspect, who they say is Michael McKee. And, so many times law enforcement and prosecutors do not, they resist working with us. And I think it's to their detriment. I really do. Now, of course, I'm a Monday morning quarterback. And of course, I also have some skin in the game of working with law enforcement who will work with us. So, it's biased for sure. But I sure am grateful that the Columbus PD did what they did. Now, we have seen documents in this case already before. We have seen arrest warrants, including some, we've seen indictments. But this latest release of documents, and I should say, I've linked in the description a Facebook group that I think that you should check out. It's by the Docket. He hasn't been streaming on YouTube. I've seen him on TikTok. His name's Eric, but his channel was called The Docket, and he is so good at getting documents. I joined that group, and he published what we're going to look at today in that group. And so I wanted to give a shout out to Eric and thank him very, very much for sharing these documents. Okay. There's some other documents in this case, by the way, having to do with Dr. Michael McKee's malpractice suits. There's a federal one, there's a state one in the state of Nevada. So we might get into those. I don't know how germane they are to the case. I haven't really started reading them because if I recall, it's something like 400 pages. It's crazy. But I will share those documents up on Patreon after the live stream tonight for my patrons. And thank you very much to the patrons who make it possible for me to obtain things like that. Oftentimes it costs a lot of money. Oftentimes it costs a lot of work. And then sometimes, just very occasionally, awesome people like Eric make it easy on me. Because this is a bit of a diatribe here, but media like to report things that are in documents, characterize what they say without showing the actual documents. And I get it. I know why they do. I mean, we do it in my day job, right? We don't share affidavits of probable cause or criminal complaints. We write an article on it. But I like to get to the nitty gritty. So very grateful that we got this. Okay. So let's get into it after that long-winded. No, let's not. Wait a minute, Gavin. You are skipping. Javi, this is not your fault. This is my fault. But if you could please just remind me to Romper Room style, head on over to the live stream and see where people are tuning in from. What do we got? We got British Columbia in the house. We got Calgary. Lots of neighbors from the north. That's pretty awesome. We got Inner Banks, North Carolina. We have got more North Carolina. We've got more North Carolina. What else do we have here? Ireland is in the house. D Creative, thank you. North Carolina here. St. Augustine, Florida. North Carolina. Wow. Alexander, I apparently do well in North Carolina. Alexandria, Louisiana in the house. Indiana, Colorado, Southeast Pennsylvania. Today is 1986. Today is the anniversary of the Challenger disaster. I remember it so well. Thanks for bringing that up in the comments, Schmoopy. I was living in Orangeville, California. I was in 6th grade. Being the type of kid that wanted to be an astronaut, I loved everything space shuttle. My dad also worked for defense contractors, and specifically he worked in solid rocketry, solid fuel rocketry. I was so into it. I go to school early in order to see the launch. They were showing it to students who were interested in the library. And there I sat with my friend Tyler and a couple of other people watching the TV. You remember those carts with the TV? And you know what I should have? I should have like music for not only when I go on a tangent, but when I go down memory lane. I should have some sort of memory lane. Javi, make a note. We're going to want to do that. Javi's doing great, by the way. Anyway, and we watched the vehicle explode. And it was, I mean, it was heart-wrenching and destroying at the tender age of 11, which is what I was at the time. And it turns out when, not too many years later, in fact, not even a year later, my future brother-in-law walked into my life and showed me pictures of him and his folks. They were there at the launch when it happened. It's crazy. Anyway, thanks for bringing that up. Lake George. And you know what? I got it. That definitely was a tangent, right? Yeah, but I got to have music for when I go down memory lane. London Town. In the house, Louisiana, North Carolina, Erie, PA, Southern Illinois, icy Central Arkansas, Colorado. Man, we got We got people from all over the place. Scotland is here. Cincinnati, Prescott, Arizona is here. It's not Prescott, everybody. It's Prescott for those of us who have ancestry from that area. Newcastle, Australia. Suburbs of Charlotte, North Carolina. Norcross, Georgia. Guys, thanks so much. Thank you for tuning in. I could be here forever. Maybe I should, but thank you very much. Okay. Getting back into the case at hand, bringing up the Tepes. What I want you to do while I'm reading this document is if you have any questions or input or want any clarification or my opinion on something, put GF in the comment in the live chat. That will help me to see it over on my end. All right, let's hop on into it. And I saw the comment. I will thank the docket for this. Very cool. Okay, so this was filed in Franklin County Municipal Court against Michael David McKee. This was filed on January 11th. It was released yesterday. And you know what, Ohio, thank you very much for being on the transparent side of things. So badge number 1842, Russ Weiner or Weiner. Swears and affirms through his own personal knowledge the following. Here is the summary statement of facts in support of probable cause to arrest Mr. McKee. On December 30th, 2025, at 9:57 a.m., Columbus Police Patrol officers were dispatched to 1411 North 4th Street on a check on the well-being of a Dr. Spencer Tepe, who had not shown up to work. Officers arrived and found Dr. Tepe and his wife, Monique Tepe, deceased inside, suffering from gunshot wounds. We understand, now I'm second guessing myself, but I believe I read that Monique suffered one gunshot wound to the chest and Dr. Tepe suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Oh. 2 minor children were found inside the home, physically unharmed. I like to put that in there. They were not unharmed. Their parents were stolen from them, snatched right out of their lives, but they were physically unharmed. Columbus Fire Medic number 7 responded, pronounced both victims deceased at 10:11 a.m. Columbus Police Homicide Unit Team 2 was advised, responded, and initiated an investigation. Early on in the investigation, detectives were advised by identifiable friends and family of Monique Tepe. This is new right here. That Monique had told them her ex-husband, Dr. Michael D. McKee, had been abusive and had made numerous threats on her life during and after their marriage. An identifiable witness told detectives that Monique Tepe had shared an allegation against Michael McKee of forced, unwanted sex and of strangulation. Let's pause here for a second because you guys know that I got a friend. He's been on the show before, Brian. Brian. Why am I blinking on? Hold on. I got it. Brian Bennett. Goodness sake. Took me a minute. Former law enforcement and strangulation expert. He and I are actually talking tomorrow afternoon. He's going to allow me to record it, and we will probably play that recording tomorrow night. Because there is there's a component of strangulation here. He is the person to talk to, and he actually said in an email to me before this information came out, the likelihood that there is a strangulation component in this crime is very high, just because it's a DV situation. Okay. So what we're talking about here is SA, right? And strangulation. Another identifiable witness told detectives that Michael D. McKee had told Monique that he could kill her at any time and would find her and buy the house right next to her that she would always be his wife. And this reminds me of a comment that came in yesterday after the live chat ended. This is full on like the story of, what is that movie with Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy, right? Like he's hyper focused, he's fixated that he would never ever let her go, that she would always be his wife. This is sick stuff. Okay. And of course, this is alleged at this point. This isn't proven. This is alleged. During the investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. This suspect was tracked to a vehicle which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. This is something that we knew already. Video of this vehicle and very distinct features allowed detectives to identify both a stolen Ohio license as well as an Arizona license being displayed on it at different times. What does this tell us? He wouldn't have made those changes on neighborhood cameras, right? This is him trying to evade. This is him trying to evade automated systems that would look for that car through its license plate, its registration number. So he has got, he's based in Illinois. I'm sure he had an Illinois plate. He had an Arizona plate. He had an Ohio plate. And it's saying, at least as I read this, it looks like it's saying that Ohio and Arizona licenses were both stolen. But at least the Ohio one was stolen, and it was displayed on it at different times. So I'm sure that they use the automated, camera systems to look for the car. But here's the thing, criminals. Here's the thing. Those things they're not just license plate readers, man. Like, I shouldn't be giving this away. This is a highly educated, smart person, okay? But, dude, if you're driving a car with very distinct features, that means like, I don't know, a dent on it, or wheels that you particularly like, or it's got a sticker in the window, or, whatever. Things that make it distinct. Those, okay, listen. All right, criminals, listen. Uncle Gavin here, okay? It's your Uncle Gavin. Listen to me. You are stupid. I'm just being honest with you because I'm your uncle and I love you, right? You're stupid. The thing that you don't understand about law enforcement is that this is what they do. It's not only what they're trained for, it's what they want to do. Okay? They like digging into the minutia of things. They like solving crime. I don't know, they get satisfaction out of it, right? And they just really like getting into the granular stuff. So there's nothing that you can do that is smart enough to outsmart them. Like, dude, just stop being criminals. Stop with your criminal behavior. This has been Uncle Gavin. My goodness, guys, killing me. Anyway, so he had very distinct features. Anyway, the stolen Ohio license and Arizona license being displayed on at different times. These automated systems don't just look for, they're not just license readers, man. They look for specific cars. Goodness sake. So what have we learned here? I don't want to, you know what? I'm going to put it out there because criminals are not smart enough to listen and take advice on this anyway. But don't drive a car that has distinct features. Like, do your research, find the most driven car and the most driven color. If you're, oh my goodness, so dumb. Just so dumb. Dumb. Stupid. Okay. Dumb. All right. Further searches showed this vehicle to be associated with a past address of Michael McKee, as well as his current work address in Rockford, Illinois. Additional video was obtained and showed McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. Okay, is this the same? Yes, this is a continuation of the affidavit, the PCA. Okay, continuing the affidavit. Detectives also recovered video of the same suspect entering the curtilage of 1411 North 4th Street on December 6, 2025, and exiting a few hours later when the Tepes were away. Let's talk about curtilage here for a second. I probably should just grab an actual definition. But it basically is like your front yard, your patio, the easily accessible and maybe even what we would call publicly available areas of your home. Curtilage, the area of land around a house and forming one enclosure within it. So, yeah, your yard, your front porch, your back porch, basically all around your house, your yard is your curtilage. So he was seen entering the curtilage of 1411 North 4th Street on December 6th. 3 weeks before the Tepes were murdered, and exiting a few hours later when the Tepes were away. These dates are consistent with video recovered of the silver SUV and are consistent with dates which Michael D. McKee was not on schedule at St. Anthony's Hospital. See what I mean about the granularity, the specificity of what their investigation is going to do? And this is 11 days in, man. This is 11 days in. Okay, on January 9th, 2026, detectives seized the silver SUV bearing the Arizona temp tag from the lot at St. Anthony's Hospital, Rockford, Illinois, where Michael D. McKee works. Detectives notice fresh scrape marks on the window where the sticker, this is the distinctive piece of it, which had been on the vehicle prior to the homicides, had been hastily removed. Once again, Mr. Dillhole, sir, maybe take your time removing things. No, don't. Criminals just stay stupid. During the time of the homicides, Michael McKee's phone, again, this is once again showing malice aforethought, premeditation, consciousness of guilt. His phone had been left at St. Anthony Hospital in Rockford, Illinois, and showed no activity for approximately 17 hours from December 9th, 2025 until after 12 p.m. on December 30th, 2025. We understand it was in the early morning hours, in the 3 o'clock hour, that they believe the murders took place. More recently, while Monique and Spencer Tepe were at a Big Ten championship game in Indiana on December 6, 2025, with several other couples, Monique went back to her hotel room early in the second half. When identifiable friends asked Spencer why Monique had left the game, he told them she was upset about something involving her ex-husband and was going back to the hotel. This is sleeping with the enemy, man. He couldn't let go. We're going to talk to Brian Bennett about this tomorrow. When I talk to him, I'll record it and play it back for tomorrow's episode, tomorrow's live stream. But this just feels like a movie plot, right? That a sick, fixated individual on his wife, then ex-wife, just couldn't let go. One of these, if I can't have you, nobody can have you kind of things. So she was dealing with this. I mean, they were married. They were divorced, 7, 8 years ago? Wasn't it like 2017? Is there more? I think that is the end. So what did we learn here? We just a couple things that were new here, right? One, that he made numerous threats on her life during and after her marriage. He SA'd her and strangled her. Again, I should say these are allegations. That he told her, he threatened her life, told her that he would buy the house right next to her and that she would always be his wife. Fixated much here, man. That he pre-planned. I mean, the evidence is clear. He pre-planned it. He left his phone behind. He changed license plates, changed tags on the vehicle at least twice. He cased their house. Those are my words, right? It doesn't say casing or anything, but he entered and exited the curtilage on December 6th. And he apparently on that same day, there was something that was involving her ex-husband that upset Monique, and she went back to the hotel. I wonder what that thing was. I wonder if it was something as simple as they had a Ring doorbell camera and they saw it. Or did he call her? Did he text her? Something. And I'm sure that more is going to come out. Now, in his last court appearance, it's right here, right?
Make your appearance, call your first case, please. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Stephen Shaw.
Let me mute this real quick.
Shayla Favor.
So in his last court appearance, which lasted all of a minute long, I think it was less than 48 seconds. No, it was less than a minute. He waived his right to reading the charges. He waived his, his bail. I wonder if there's going to be a preliminary hearing, because I know there's an indictment, right? At least that's what if memory serves, there's an indictment. Let me just make sure that I have that correct. Just going to go to my case file here real quick, over to the Tepes, into my documents. Let's see. There is malpractice lawsuit. Yeah, there is an indictment, right? So I wonder if there will be a preliminary hearing on this, or if we're just going to move into like status conferences or something like that. I don't know. I want to get his mug off of here. Let's get our victims' mugs on, and let me just check in to see what you guys are saying about the case over here. Let's see. Mooney says, thanks. Please thank the docket for sharing with us. I certainly have and will again. Brooke says, third live in a row from Baltimore, Maryland. Glad you are here. Yeah, not snowing in Utah, I've noticed. It's been pretty darn cold where we are. So many places. Emmy, I'm 10 years older than you. Yeah, I'm kind of an old guy. Yeah, I'm gathering from me saying that I was 11 years old. So, yeah. What else we got in here for your comments? Jenny says, book smart, street smart, and common sense are all very different. Indeed. It seems like this guy, we're just going to show him briefly. Ready? This guy. There must be just some kind of like weird mental fixation. I don't want to give him the excuse of mental illness. But yeah, just so dumb. Yeah, Uncle Gavin hasn't shown his face in a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Uncle Gavin gives good advice. All right, Uncle Gavin gives very, very good advice. Yeah, nothing like trying to blend in Ohio with Arizona plates. Yeah, right? So dumb. Let's see. MM's face instills a sense of eerie fear in me here. We're gonna do it one more time. Ready? Ah, yeah. I don't like him. I don't like him. Uh, Dandelion says he needs to pay for destroying the lifelong pain and grief he caused not only the children, but all of the family members and dear friends. Their lives are forever changed. How heart-wrenching. Indeed. Indeed. Dog's discussions. Why would she go back alone if she was threatened? And is that what it said? Let me just go back to this one more time. Maybe it wasn't a threat. It just, she was upset about something involving her ex-husband, is what it said. Um, she probably didn't feel threatened if she was alone. Yeah, so Monique left him in early 2016, so 10 years. 10 years. Thanks for getting that with me. Let's see. Nancy Lane says, I'm so with you on the stupidity. This guy is a surgeon. Yeah, it's just so dumb. Sherry D says, I want to believe if Mo saw him on the Ring camera, Spencer would have known. I feel like they would have called Columbus PD. I wonder if, you know, this is one of those moments where we just need to remind ourselves, guys. We just need to remind ourselves that when, and I think that this is only about 100% of the time man on women violence, but it could be the other way around, I guess. We need to remember that if somebody makes a threat of violence against you, believe them. Believe it. And I'm not saying Monique didn't. I'm not passing any blame on her at all. No, what I'm saying is for the rest of us who are looking at this case for the purpose of learning something, let's just let that sink in. That if somebody makes a threat against you, believe them. And that means taking steps to protect yourself, which could include talking to law enforcement. It probably should include that. That's, yeah. So I want to believe, says Sherry D, if Mo saw him on the Ring camera, Spencer would have known. The thing about the way this was written is it's a third person thing, right? An identifiable friend asked Spencer why Monique left the game. He told them she was upset about something. He may have known. He probably did know, but didn't maybe feel it necessary to tell the friend exactly what she was upset about. Yeah, great comment. Tina says, Gavin, this case reminds me of the Betty Broderick case, also a very old movie called Daddy's Gone a Hunting. My mom and dad took me with them to the movies, not knowing how traumatic it was. I never forgot. Daddy's Gone a Hunting. Uh-oh, now I need to look this up. 1969, starring Carol White, Paul Burke, Scott Hylands. Title comes from The Lullaby by Bunting, a novelization of the film. This is the first. Okay. Daddy's Gone a Hunting. Oh, it's actually a creepy name and a creepy poster. But that might be something that I watch. I love old movies. Thank you for that. Ashley says, did he intend to kill them on the 6th? Possibly. Maybe. They were out of town. Though I got to figure that, I mean, if he was a stalker, which I think he was, he probably knew they were out of town. Maybe it was a casing kind of situation where he simply wanted to check if he could get in the house or whatever. Maybe it was something like that. Mooney says he reminds me of that guy Gareth Pursehouse, who killed Amy Harwick, his ex-girlfriend. Okay, hold on. They had broken up 10 years before he did it. Yeah. Jenny saying, I'm really doing well at the comic relief tonight. That's funny. Sherry, I do wonder if something snapped back in 2016. They dated for a time, got engaged, then married, yet the marriage didn't last long. Yeah, um, I wonder about that too. I mean, human relationships are complex, right? We are complex creatures. Uh, they dated for a while, I think. I mean, I don't think it was like this super long time, but um, and it's funny how, like, I joke that Kimberly and I knew each other a grand total of like 3.5 hours before we were married. That's a bit of an exaggeration. From the day that we met, uh, well, I should say from the day that we remember meeting, because people tell us that we were introduced before, but the day we met to the day we were married was 5.5 months, and it's it's worked out terrifically for me. It's funny how, but yeah, I mean, there could be people that put on a charade, right? Put on a full facade. I almost said charade, putting together charade and facade, not trying to sound fancy, but they put on a charade, and then once they feel like they've got that partner locked down, they become a different person. Um, yeah. Grateful says this is a dangerous, dangerous man. Talk about a narcissistic grudge holder. Yeah, and you're right. She didn't go back to the house. She went back to the hotel. Scotch's mom, there are a lot of highly intelligent people who don't have a lick of common sense. Indeed. I tell the story of a friend of mine growing up that, I mean, he was a straight A student. I think he graduated in the top 10 of the class. But if you told him a joke, he would laugh and he'd go, wait, what? You know, like, it didn't, yeah, he just didn't have that kind of, and it's not like when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, I was all that witty. Uh, he just didn't have a, didn't have a grasp of humor. So yeah. Tina says, when I was in an abusive relationship, for which I'm sorry for you, Tina, and I'm glad that you got out. I never call, or I hope you did. You're talking about it in the past tense. She continues, I never called the cops. My family and people in the public did. Good for them. Good for them. Um, yeah. Let's see. I wonder why they would continue to be at the home or not tell the police. I'm curious if it's going to come out that there were some I guess reports filed. I don't know. Um, Second Beach Gal, this does have the Criminal Minds kind of plot building. It really does. Let's see. We got a couple more minutes. Um, Cherish Brittany, you're right. This is like some kind of award-winning crime movie. Yeah, it's horrible. Detroit 313 says, can't wait to see what comes of the digital forensics, i.e., his phone. Indeed. Me too. Emmy says, my husband and me were dating for 3 years long distance before we got engaged and married. Yeah, it's different for everybody, right? And I hope that you two are happy little kiddos. Ms. Bree, I wonder if DV and mental health issues were prevalent with his biological parents. Mary Kessler, will you please repeat your phrase? Oh yes, this is Gavin's iron law of criminal mastermindery. The iron law goes like this. Maybe we can call it Gavin's razor. It'd be awesome to have a razor named after me. It goes like this. If you think you have what it takes to be a criminal mastermind, that is evidence in and of itself that you do not have what it takes to be a criminal mastermind. Yep. That's Gavin's razor, my iron law. Autumn says, Gavin, I was with my ex 3 months when I married him. A few months later, all went bad. I stayed for 2 years. Whew. Yeah, so maybe did he change, or did he have a facade, or was he in some kind of charade? Yeah. Hey, listen, Courtney Heron, Gavin, classic Utah style relationship with you and your wife. Same with my husband and I. Where are you from? Well, I was raised in California, and my wife is Californian, but I myself was indeed born in the beehive stain. Yes. And yes to what you're saying. That is exactly yes. Sherry D. Gavin, July 5th, 21, wedding video published. 12/22, McKee on Bumble. July 5th, 23, first surgery, which is part of one of two malpractice cases. June 7th, 2024, second future malpractice case. 7/8/2025, condo for sale. Thanks for that timeline. Thank you. That was awesome. Fourth opinion, Gavin, this may be off topic. Well, we never go off topic here. Fourth opinion, we never go off topic. Oh, Javi, what you doing there, pal? Okay, this may be off topic, but it's mind-blowing that this man operated on people all while having this intense rage. Gives great meaning to two masks. Great comment. Wendy says, we bought house after 2 years, got married at 5 years. House deal went okay, so I married him. Married 14 years. I'm lucky. You're blessed. That's awesome. Glad you guys are happy kiddos. That's what we got so far. Now, I think because it's the state of Ohio, we are going to get, we're going to get more out of this. I'm very confident in it, and hopefully we'll be able to get our hands on that. And I will share that with you. And again, when we talk about this case once more, it will be tomorrow, if all goes well, after I have my conversation with Brian Bennett, and I will be bringing you that conversation. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to 3 questions, shall we?
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
How? In the 3 questions segment, guys, what do? Well, we answer 3 questions. I answer them, and I ask you to answer them in the comments, because it's kind of fun to see what you guys think and what your experiences are. You can email me your 3 questions to 3questions@gavinfish.com. Actually, they can be 9 questions. They could be 100 questions. It could be 1 question. Just please don't make a half a question. All right? Full sentences are good. And then I will answer 3 of them at a time. Now, yesterday was a day where I got many questions. So if you want to send in more questions, it might be a few days before I get to them, but because we've got a queue now, we've got a queue forming. But yeah, there are no rules. Nothing's off limits. Nothing's off the table. You can ask me anything you want, and I will answer. What is question number 1? Question number 1 is, did you experience migraines or other negative feelings when you quit drinking soda? This is in regards to my recent, it's only about 5 months that I've been doing this, journey to be a more healthy Gavin. I said goodbye to, I said, I'm going to soon say goodbye to you, Fat Gavin, last August. And I've been working on it ever since. One of the things that was a habit of mine, maybe even an addiction of mine, was full sugary, fully leaded fizzy drinks. I love me the Pepsi Cola. I just love it and am addicted to it. And I just went cold turkey. And I went from drinking probably 2 32-ounce fountain drinks a day to 0 fountain drinks a day overnight. Now, did I experience migraines or other negative feelings? I did not experience migraines or headaches, but I will point out that I didn't just quit drinking soda. I made a very big life change. One of the major things that I did is I started drinking a lot of water. Now, it's not like I didn't go crazy, but I may, at the time that I was drinking soda, I may have had maybe 12, 16 ounces of just water in a day, maybe. And now my goal is 70 ounces, and I usually get there. So that's roughly, it's a little bit more than half a gallon. So I made that change. So I was hydrated for the first time in memory. I was like fully hydrated. and in a healthy way. I'm not overdoing it, right? I'm following advice. I'm not just drinking tons of water. I don't want like water toxicity or anything like that. You do it at a healthy level. But for the first time, probably for 30 years, I'm a hydrated boy. That's number one. Number two, I changed my diet. Uh, Big change in my diet. Now, for me, it was about calorie deficit. And what I found was it was very easy to eat a low calorie diet without being hungry if I prepared and ate whole foods. That meant, nothing in a bag, nothing in a can, you know, nothing in like, you guys know what I mean, a box packaging. So I think I was probably eating, dude, every day I would go to my local Stab and Grab and I would get the soda. I would get like a Slim Jim, which is like a meat stick, and I would get a bag of Ruffles sour cream and cheese potato chips, which by the way are still my favorite thing in the world, but I haven't touched them in 5 months. And I'm looking forward to getting back to them in moderation when I am through with my weight loss journey and I'm in my healthy maintenance part of my life. But I would do that every day. So I was eating a bag of chips every single day. So many calories, so many carbohydrates. Sometimes I would grab a pack of donuts in addition to that, and I would eat that. And then in the afternoon, go back for another soda. So I was very, very unhealthy. So when I went to, okay, now I'm eating vegetables that I am buying raw and I am preparing myself and, good fibrous stuff. And then, for my carbohydrates, they're not simple carbs. They're brown rice and they're skin on potatoes, cooked properly, baked and roasted instead of fried, that kind of stuff. So there was such a huge change in my life that I didn't experience any withdrawals beyond just the kind of, or any symptoms beyond just like, I really wish I could have that, which is the thing that I wanted to fight against anyway. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer to your question there. I did not get headaches. I did not get migraines. I did not get negative feelings. If anything, I just felt like I felt empowered. I felt like, hey, look what I'm doing here that I've never done before. And each day that I had a successful day and I could look back and say, that was an amazing day, that gave me motivation for the next day. And it still does. Like today, for example, I what happens with my body is as I'm losing weight, it hits little plateaus, little mini plateaus, and it stays there. And what I found is if I can to break through those little plateaus, right now I'm at 217 pounds. I keep bouncing up against that and I can't get through 217 pounds. And so what I do is I try to get my body into autophagy where it's literally eating its cells, right? In a healthy way and not for very long. So how do you do that? Well, you increase your fasting, but I don't want to decrease my caloric intake. I want a healthy caloric intake, right? So today I jammed all of my eating into about 3.5 hours, 2,000 calories in 3.5 hours. Boy, was that filling, so that I could have a much longer fast to see if I can break through. And tomorrow, like right now, I'm hungry. But tomorrow, when I wake up and it's time to have breakfast, I will feel empowered. Like, look what I did. Look what I did. And anyway, it's been a very, very good experience for me. And if you are living a lifestyle now that is similar to what I was living, I'm telling you, this will make you feel good. If you do it in a healthy way, um, you know, seek out professional advice, a nutritionist, a doctor, get help. And one thing that I will say though is I never, ever wanted to get an accountability partner on this. I wanted to only be accountable to myself because I felt like if I was offloading that to somebody else, I wouldn't be emotionally invested. So I haven't done that. Yeah, that's question number one. Question number two, what's a story people ask you to tell? I kind of cheated on this one again. I asked Kimberly, I don't know. I'm so full of stories and I have the same stories. I tell them over and over and over again. But I have this story where I broke both of my kneecaps at the same time. And I did so in the most glorious impersonation of Napoleon from the classic and cinematic masterpiece that was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It was a Napoleon bowling incident where I was trying, I was just being a goofball and wanted my grandma to laugh, and boy did she laugh, but I broke both kneecaps. That is a story that I tell a lot. I also tell the story a lot that I promised my coworker I would never tell, which is the story of when he and I had a couples massage in a Thai massage parlor in a Paris basement. Oh man, I love that story. Oh, I love that story. But yeah, those are stories that I tell. I've got so many. Guys, I've been such a stupid person that I've got plenty of stories. Yeah, I don't. Oh my goodness, the bowling thing. We were in Winnemucca, Nevada. We were in Winnemucca, and we were having a little birthday celebration for my mom, and it was an inside joke. Winnemucca is just a destination for my family because that's where our car always broke down as we were traveling between Sacramento and Utah to visit family. We'd always break down in Winnemucca, so it's become kind of a thing. Anyway, we're in this little bowling alley in Winnemucca that's like a Quonset hut kind of a thing. And everybody's having a good time. And I see my grandma is like into the game. She's watching everybody bowl. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a Napoleon, man. I did. I was too old to do the Napoleon. I broke both kneecaps and I've had knee pain ever since. But was it worth it? Yes. Of course it was worth it. You should have seen her laugh. I think she was wearing Depends that day. She had to have been. Okay, the last question is, what would your memoir be called? What would my memoir be called? I want to know what your memoir would be called. Kimberly gave me a couple of ideas. Here's the thing, okay? Listen, never do this to your child. The world is not prepared for it, okay? This is me complaining about my parents, knowing that my parents are awesome, but also fallible people. They make mistakes. Can't hold a grudge for it. Though these 50 plus years I have held a grudge, I need to take my own advice. Never, ever name your child, his or her name, and then not call him by his first name. It's not cool, man. That poor child will have to go through life being called by their first name when it is not their name. Why not instead just switch the names so that the name that you want to call that child is their first name and the name that you don't want to call that child is their middle name? Why not do that? These are the questions that I've been asking my mom my entire life because my name is not Gavin Fish. My name is John Gavin Fish. And from the moment they decided on that name, they called me Gavin. Why? That's just mean, man. It's mean. So when I ask my mom, why did you name me one thing and call me something else? Why didn't you name me Gavin John Fish? She goes, John Gavin Fish is just more musical. John Gavin Fish. That's how she says it with the inflection. John Gavin Fish. Doesn't that sound musical? Gavin John Fish? That doesn't sound. Because they wanted to name me after my father, but they didn't want a junior. They didn't want to call me, JJ or something like that. They wanted to call me Gavin. I think that my mom had a little crush on television's Captain Steubing. And that's where Gavin came from, though she says that there was an actor named John Gavin, and I've looked it up. There was. He was famous. But I think it was Captain Steubing. I mean, my dad has always had a full head of hair, but Captain Steubing rocked that bald dome, and in his uniform, the Captain looked sharp, man. I think my mom had a crush on Captain Steubing. That's where Gavin came from. But anyway, my memoir would be called "It's Just Very Musical" by John Gavin Fish. That would be my memoir. Okay, now, hopefully with your little thumbs, you guys are busy telling me the answers to your answers to these questions. And while you do so, let's check out some headlines. Here we go.
True crime headlines.
Wow. Okie dokie. Headline number one comes to us from Court TV. I actually saw that my buddy Joseph Scott Morgan was on News Nation talking about this. Headline says, autopsy reports reveal brutality of murders of 4 University of Idaho students. I'm not going to get totally into this, guys. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you, but it is in the news. Newly unsealed autopsy reports reveal the horrific extent of injuries inflicted upon Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, who were stabbed more than 100 times collectively in a frenzied attack at their off-campus home in November 2022. And I'm just going to real quick. Xana suffered the most extensive injuries. This is in fact overkill. This is a frenzied event, said Joseph Scott Morgan, forensic death investigator and host of Body Bags podcast, while appearing on Court TV's closing arguments with Vinnie Politan. She fought. You don't get this contact trace blood elements on the feet without that having occurred. So yeah, JSM got into it. Kaylee was stabbed a minimum of 38 times. Madison suffered 28 stab and incised wounds, and Ethan suffered 17. So brutal. Next headline. Speaking of the Great Beehive State, Corey Richins' defense claims witness intimidation in her murder case. Attorneys for a Utah children's book author. That's one way to describe her, a children's book author. Accused, maybe what we should describe her as is a poisoner, a multiple attemptress at offing her husband. Speaking of overkill, with enough fentanyl to take down a herd of elephants. Anyway, accused of poisoning her husband to death, are accusing members of the prosecution team of witness intimidation just weeks before jury selection is set to begin in her high-profile murder trial. In a motion filed 2 days ago, defense attorneys for Ms. Richins asked a judge to order prosecutors to turn over all communications with trial witnesses, citing messages they say include threats of arrest, jail time, and the withdrawal of immunity. Okay. According to the court filing, one witness told defense attorneys she felt harassed by a lead detective working with the prosecution after she declined to be prepped for testimony and asked that questions be submitted in writing. The motion alleges the detective warned the witness she could be arrested and jailed if she did not cooperate. Defense attorneys described the conduct as blatant witness intimidation. And then it goes on. The filing also details allegations from a second witness who claimed a county investigator warned that previously granted immunity could be withdrawn if the witness refused to meet again with the prosecution team. The witness said they had already cooperated and had previously been told they had done nothing wrong. Very interesting. So yeah, a lot going on there. We shall see what the judge says there, if they will they will turn over all of those communications. Last headline of the night. Manhattan DA wants Luigi Mangione's state trial to start July 1 before the federal case. Luigi Mangione should stand trial in state Supreme Court in New York starting July 1st, at least 3 months ahead of when the accused killer could stand trial in federal court, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said in a letter Wednesday. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to state and federal charges stemming from the assassination-style killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan in December 2024. Federal Judge Margaret Garnett said Mangione would stand trial in October if she eliminates the DP as a possible sentence, as the defense has sought. Otherwise, she said at a hearing last week, Mangione would stand trial in January. Either way, she set jury selection for September 8th. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office said there are significant state interests in putting Mangione on trial sooner. This heinous crime happened in Midtown Manhattan, one of the busiest commercial areas in this county, and spread fear and shock throughout Manhattan. New York State unquestionably has a deep interest in upholding the federal right to life, maintaining public order, and delivering justice for a murder committed in its jurisdiction, Assistant DA Joel Seidemann wrote. So they're looking to start Luigi's trial in July. We will keep an eye on that to see what happens next. Let's finish out with your comments here. See what you guys are saying. Grace says, I always do a shoulder shimmy to your little song. Well, whatever. Yeah, it's a bop, man. It's a bop. You should be dancing. Scotch's mom says, I have migraines. I try to limit my caffeine intake with Diet Dr. Pepper. I drink water too. Yeah, I know that caffeine helps with migraines. That is something that happens. Let's see, a psychologist on Brian Enron, or maybe Enton, last night says she firmly believes McKee sent Mo a pic of himself outside the house next door. So she knows he knows, and the buying house next door threat. Ooh. Man, if he did that, that is just sick. Sick. Tina says, I've been off uber processed foods. No cakes, cookies, candies, ice cream, refined sugar, anything with more than 3 ingredients or ingredients I don't understand. Non-GMO as well, 1.5 years strong. Good for you, Lucille. You know what I found is that if I only eat foods that I like too. Like life is short enough. I don't want to just eat healthy foods that I don't like. So I have been, I am a child that was born in the 70s. Okay. And in the 70s, if you guys will remember, everything for some reason had Jell-O in it, right? And I grew up on the stuff. And not only Jell-O in it, but stuff in Jell-O, like the Jell-O that had like grapes and shredded carrots and like weird stuff in it, right? That was my upbringing. My mom used to make what she called pink salad. Pink salad. It was a special thing. It was like on Thanksgiving and Christmas, we had pink salad with our dinner. Pink salad was cottage cheese and Cool Whip in equal parts, flavored with a packet of your favorite Jell-O, flavoring. And it was mixed up, and then there were bits of pineapple in it. Now, many of you are going, gross. But I am saying, like, I'm salivating. I love pink salad. I grew up on this stuff. And who wouldn't? But I can't eat Cool Whip. I can definitely eat cottage cheese, especially if it's low fat or no fat. So what could I do? Well, what I learned was if I got Greek yogurt and mixed it with cottage cheese and put a little sugar-free gelatin in there, that it tasted like pink salad. And it's so full of protein. So non-fat Greek yogurt, non-fat cottage cheese with a little bit of gelatin in there, sugar-free. And yeah, I know that there are sweeteners in it, but yeah, anyway, if I put that in there, it tastes almost exactly like pink salad. It's not as light and fluffy, but it tastes so good. But I need more fiber in my diet, so I put chia seeds in it, and I love chia seeds. I like the little crunch. I love the tanginess of them. So I put 36 grams of chia seeds in there. I do 36 grams of chia seeds. I do 4 grams of sugar-free gelatin. I like strawberry. And then I do 200 grams of fat-free cottage cheese, 200 grams of non-fat Greek yogurt plain, and I mix it up, and it's like my childhood. I have it for breakfast with 6 egg whites, and it is a huge, big, filling breakfast that is low on carbs, low on fat, high on fiber, very high on protein. I think I end up at like maybe 110 grams of protein just having a nice filling breakfast. So do the things that you like. Make the stuff that you like. Quinoa is a great protein, and I love quinoa. My wife makes a delicious quinoa salad. It's amazing. Kimberly's known for her salads. Tina says, my boot camp Twinkie story, or the time on a trip back from Puerto Rico in a private jet. I was in the co-pilot seat and the whole plane fell asleep, including me and the pilot. Had a nice 3-axis autopilot there, I hope. Let's see. Patricia says 3-second chronicles as in goldfish memory. Okay. Mooney says my memoir would be something like Mooney's Memories. Yeah, that'd be good. My book, says Jess Ducky, would be, this will explain a lot of S. Oh, that is funny. Tina, stupid S I've done. Scotch's mom, my memoir would be called Thursday's Child because Thursday's Child has far to go, and I was born on a Thursday. Very good. Miss Chivos Dragon, Gavin. Gavin McLeod was also Murray Slaughter on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which wasn't as glamorous. It's true. Yeah. Mary Tyler Moore Show. Deanna, mine is How Am I Still Alive? That's funny. A couple more before we go. Let's see. Too much for anything ain't good for you. Indeed. Gavin, you should do Pink Salad live for us one day. Okay. Ain't none of us getting out alive. That would be a good one. And Philip says, I grew up on RC. I love RC. In fact, RC Cola is my favorite cola by far. It's my favorite. Pepsi is my second choice, but it's hard to get RC. So I'm a Pepsi guy. But grew up on RC and moon pies back in the day. Tina says, I was born on a Friday during happy hour. That's funny. That's awesome. Guys, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I will, after this, I will upload the documents up to Patreon so that you can get your hands on them if you want to, including what we went over today and the other docs that have come out. Dogs discussions, just last one. Gavin, I hope you are working out. Indeed, I am. I am 3 days a week lifting, and it's just a push-pull legs schedule for me. And then 3 days a week, I am walking. With my knees, I really can't jog or run. And I find that I just enjoy walking. So that's what I do. So 6 days a week. Now, I had 6 weeks where because of a broken foot, I couldn't work out. And, I did upper body stuff, seated stuff, chair yoga and stuff like that, but I couldn't really work out. But I didn't let that get me down. I just said, I will just keep on with the diet portion of this. I will let my foot heal, and then I'll get back to it. And it's just been in the last week that I'm back at it again. So yeah, I am. Thanks for doing that. How much longer for my hair to donate? Asks Autumn. Probably August or September at this point. It's slowed down. The growth is slowed down. So probably that. All right. Hey, lastly, for those of you who have stuck around to the end, remember that you can always reach out to me through my website, which is gavinfish.com. Push the right button, Javi. Thank you. I'm sorry. I snapped. Javier, please forgive me. Go to gavinfish.com. You can reach out to me by clicking on this little icon up in the corner of the little envelope. And you can click on the little fishy that will take you to the fish tank where we hang out on Facebook, we got coming up on 6,000 of us, and we talk all things true crime and other stuff too. You guys are always welcome to join us there. With that, I shall bid you adieu until the next one, when I hope to see you. All right, take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.